Today on Money Matters, we're talking with Jennifer Thompson. She's the compliance officer for Winona National Bank, and we're going to be talking about the Truth in Lending Act. And Jennifer, thanks for making time to talk with us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Dave.
So what is the Truth in Lending Act?
The Truth in Lending Act is a consumer protection law, and Reg Z is its implementing regulation. I tend to think of it like the law is the overall governing policy, and the regulation lists the set of specific procedures that must be used to follow the law. One of the main purposes of this consumer protection law is to provide a framework for how credit terms must be presented in a consistent manner. For example, if you come here to apply for a loan, you will receive a Truth in Lending disclosure with our credit terms, and if you go to another bank, they will also provide you with a Truth in Lending disclosure that contains the same required pieces of information.
When does the Truth in Lending Act come into play?
It comes into play when credit is offered, applied for, or extended to an individual for a consumer purpose. A few examples of credit generally covered by Reg Z would be certain personal loans and home loans, private education loans, and credit cards.
How does it protect consumers, and what are our rights under the Truth in Lending Act?
There are several ways the law sets out to protect consumers. A few examples are that it requires lenders to provide loan cost information in a standardized and more understandable format so that consumers can be more informed about the credit decisions they are making. It protects against unfair and inaccurate credit billing and credit card practices, and it gives consumers the right of rescission, which means they can cancel certain credit transactions that will be secured by a consumer's principal dwelling.
What would happen if an institution were to violate the Truth in Lending Act?
There are possible administrative and civil penalties for violation of the Truth in Lending Act. Some of the penalties involve reimbursement or payment of restitution to consumers.
Jennifer, thank you so much for taking some time to help explain the Truth in Lending Act to us today.
It was my pleasure. Thanks again for having me.